approach to the roles he
Very good,
takes
Mr.
on.
Bond. You've been to
Rather
Russia.
than chasing
Not
quantity,
Pierce Brosnan's life reads like a Hollywood script, full of triumphs, heartbreaks, and second chances. The world knows him as James Bond, the suave spy with a license to kill, but behind the charm and tuxedo lies a man who's faced pain few could imagine. Losing his wife and daughter to the same disease, rebuilding his life from ashes, and finding love again. Pierce's story isn't just about fame, it's about faith, resilience, and learning to carry loss with grace. At 71, he stands as proof that even the strongest hearts can heal. An Irish childhood of silence and separation. Pierce Brosnan's early life was marked by loss and solitude. Born in 1953 in Drogheda, Ireland, his father abandoned the family when he was an infant, and his mother left for London to find work. From age 4 to 11, Pierce was passed between relatives, growing up quiet and withdrawn. The loneliness forced him to become an observer, studying people, emotions, and behavior, traits that would later define his craft as an actor. When he finally rejoined his mother after 7 years, the emotional distance could not easily be healed. Yet the instability of those years shaped his strength and introspection. The silence of his childhood became the soil where resilience and empathy grew. What might have broken others instead gave him the emotional depth to portray complex characters. This early experience laid the foundation for his later ability to channel vulnerability and endurance in his performances. The moment James Bond was born. At 11, Pierce Brosnan's life took a dramatic turn when his stepfather took him to see Goldfinger. Watching Sean Connery's James Bond electrified him. For the first time, he saw what confidence and control looked like, traits that felt worlds away from his shy, uncertain self. Bond represented power, sophistication, and identity, all things Pierce yearned for. That night, he didn't just enjoy a film, he found direction. The screen revealed a dream, an image of who he wanted to become. From that moment, the boy who had felt invisible began to imagine a future defined by courage and charisma. The movie gave him a sense of belonging, showing him that transformation was possible. Years later, that inspiration would come full circle when he stepped into the same iconic role. But as a boy, it was simply a spark, one that guided him through hardship, ambition, and self-discovery. From struggling artist to rising actor. As a teenager, Brosnan pursued art at St. Martin's School of Art in London, hoping to become a painter. However, fate intervened when he joined a theater workshop and impulsively tried fire eating. That bold act changed everything. He discovered the thrill of performing. The stage offered freedom, expression, and identity, things he had long sought. Driven by this newfound passion, he enrolled at the Drama Centre London from 1973 to 1976, where he rigorously trained in acting, mime, and Shakespeare. Money was scarce, but determination was abundant. Every role, no matter how small, became a step toward reinvention. The boy who once watched others from the shadows was now center stage, channeling emotion into art. Through persistence, he transformed hardship into creativity, learning that performance wasn't just acting, it was survival. His journey from art student to performer marked the birth of the actor who would someday captivate audiences worldwide. Breakthrough with Remington Steele. After years of small theater roles, Pierce Brosnan caught Hollywood's attention with his magnetic charm and poise. In 1982, he was cast in Remington Steele, an NBC detective series that combined mystery, wit, and romance. The show became a hit, turning him into a household name. His blend of sophistication and humor resonated with audiences who were drawn to his effortless elegance. Ironically, the very role that made him famous also delayed his dream of becoming James Bond. When producers first approached him for the part, contractual obligations to Remington Steele forced him to decline. It was a painful twist of fate, being so close to his childhood dream yet unable to grasp it. Still, the experience solidified his reputation as a leading man. Brosnan's performance demonstrated his ability to blend charm with depth, laying the groundwork for the iconic role that would later define his career and global legacy. Love and Tragedy, Cassandra Harris. In the late 1970s, Pierce met Australian actress Cassandra Harris, a woman whose confidence and radiance captivated him instantly. They married in 1980 and built a close-knit family with their children, Charlotte, Christopher, and Sean. Cassandra was not only his partner, but also his inspiration, encouraging him to pursue greatness. Their happiness, however, was shattered in 1987 when Cassandra was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. For 4 painful years, Pierce stood by her through every treatment and moment of uncertainty. When she died in 1991 at just 43, his world fell apart. He described her as his North Star, the guiding light of his life. Her strength and grace in the face of death profoundly changed him. The loss deepened his emotional range and empathy, influencing both his personal life and artistic expression. Cassandra's memory remained the emotional compass that continued to guide him long after her passing. The bond that changed his life. 3 years after Cassandra's death, fate circled back. In 1994, Pierce Brosnan was cast as James Bond, the role that had inspired him as a child. His debut in GoldenEye revitalized the franchise, earning over $350 million and introducing a new generation to 007. Audiences adored his mix of toughness, wit, and emotional depth. Yet behind the success lay sorrow. Cassandra had always dreamed of seeing him as Bond, but she wasn't there to witness it. Each Bond film he made, Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough, and Die Another Day, became a quiet tribute to her. His performance reflected the complexity of his own life, suave on the surface, yet deeply wounded underneath. Becoming Bond fulfilled a lifelong dream, but it also carried the weight of memory and loss, turning the world's most famous spy into a vessel for personal healing and remembrance. Heartbreak returns, the loss of Charlotte. Tragedy struck again when Pierce's daughter, Charlotte, whom he had adopted and raised as his own, was diagnosed with the same ovarian cancer that took her mother. For 3 years, she fought bravely, but in 2013, she too passed away at 41. The pain was devastating, a haunting echo of the past. Pierce held her hand as she died, just as he had with Cassandra. The loss reopened old wounds, but also reignited his sense of purpose. He became a passionate advocate for cancer awareness, using his platform to promote early detection and research. Through grief, he found strength in compassion, transforming sorrow into activism. These losses didn't harden him, they deepened his humanity. Pierce's life became a powerful example of how one can endure unimaginable pain yet continue to love, to give, and to live with grace, channeling tragedy into something profoundly meaningful. Finding Love, again with Keely Shea Smith. In 1994, Pierce Brosnan met journalist Keely Shea Smith at a beach party in Mexico, and their connection was instant. Unlike others, Keely wasn't drawn to his fame, but to his kindness and sincerity. She brought warmth and laughter back into his life, helping him heal from years of loss. They married in 2001 in Ireland, surrounded by family and friends. Over time, Keely became his source of peace and strength. When tabloids mocked her weight, Pierce defended her fiercely, declaring, "I love every curve of her body." Their love story became a public testament to devotion and respect. In 2024, Keely's journey of losing 100 pounds naturally symbolized the shared resilience that defines their relationship. Together, they raised 2 sons, Dylan and Paris, and built a life rooted in loyalty, humor, and compassion, proving that love, when genuine, can rebuild even the most broken heart. A legacy beyond the screen. Pierce Brosnan's legacy extends far beyond Hollywood fame. The pain of losing his wife and daughter inspired him to become an advocate for ovarian cancer awareness and global humanitarian causes. Since 2001, he has worked with UNICEF and supported Greenpeace and numerous cancer charities. Despite worldwide success, he remains humble, attributing his resilience to his Irish roots and faith. Brosnan continues to paint and act, channeling his emotions into art that reflects both beauty and sorrow. His career has spanned decades, but his greatest achievements lie in his compassion and integrity. Through philanthropy and creativity, he uses his influence to heal and inspire others. Now in his 70s, he stands not just as a cinematic icon, but as a survivor who turned grief into purpose. His story shows that fame fades, but kindness and conviction create a lasting impact beyond the silver screen. The enduring power of faith and family. When asked how he survived so much tragedy, Pierce Brosnan's answer is simple: faith. It's the constant that has carried him through the darkest periods of his life. His Catholic upbringing and spiritual grounding give him gratitude and hope even amid heartbreak. Family remains his anchor, his wife, Keely, their sons, and the cherished memories of Cassandra and Charlotte form the compass that guides him. Through every loss, he's chosen love over bitterness, rebuilding his world again and again. Brosnan's journey reveals that resilience is not about avoiding pain but embracing it with grace. His story is one of endurance, love, and redemption, proving that true strength lies not in invincibility but in vulnerability. Ultimately, his greatest role isn't James Bond, but that of a man who continually chooses faith, family, and love,